Roman, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for coming on. So this is actually the first interview of this year, so very excited to have you on. We'll just get straight into the questions. So the first thing we usually ask our athletes when they come on is, a bit of backstory. How did you actually get into the sport? So obviously that's basketball for you. So how the
Yeah.
journey start and to where you are now.
I just my sisters used to playing. I was just a footy player, and they used to always beat me. So obviously, being competitive, I wanted to join a sport and then be better than them. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's how I.
because over where you are, you call that it footy. Over here, we call that rugby. I'm guessing, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's still a bit weird for me to get used to that. But yeah. Do you have any like junior memorable moments, like buzzer beaters when you were younger playing basketball or even footy?
Or not really. Growing up, like younger, when I was younger, I just used to be that defensive guy that play
Yeah.
D and get rebounds. So
Do you,
not
do you think
much, to be honest.
do you think like the physicality from footy you've brought over to basketball has helped you, like, and that's one of your strengths in basketball?
Yeah, obviously that's like noticeable within my game, and it was pretty like good bringing it over, but it was just finding a way to control that because sometimes like coming from footy straight away was more getting charges and fouls and stuff. But when I sort of learned over time how to control it and be better with my body and smarter, it was definitely a asset. So that was good.
That's good. And who would you say is like being your biggest influence in basketball, whether that's coaches, family, friends, or just someone you've like looked up to in that aspect?
Probably just my mum.
Yeah.
She's always like telling me what I need to do better. And like sometimes it's like you look at it and it's like, oh yeah, whatever, whatever, mum. But in a way, like as time goes on, like you realize like the stuff she says or what my parents say, like it actually helps in the long run.
Yeah, it sort of keeps you in check, I guess. I mean, that's good to have like family there for you. What about
Yeah.
like a player like in the NBA or the NBL, someone that you like model your game after?
Or I wouldn't say I like model my game after people. It's like more like I'll see something and try and implement that into my game from different players. So like just I like watching like Giddy. Obviously, he plays like at his own pace, and he can find
Yeah.
people, and he's a pass first guard. And when he needs to get a bucket, he can get one. So that's I like watching him. And then just probably the Aussie boys like Dyson. He gets up and down the floor, and he just knows his role as a defensive player and can shoot it when he needs to. So like yeah,
Yeah, so like the Aussie basketballers, that's good. I mean, Giddy, yeah, he's on fire at the moment. He's been playing really well.
yeah.
Does that like sort of motivate you, like looking at the other Australian basketballers, thinking that like maybe one day you could be in that position?
Yeah, definitely. Like the movement that's happened over like recent years through the NBL and just other like Dyson with his Ignite team and stuff. It's definitely inspiring seeing them
Mm.
as Australians and more Australians getting put in that NBA sort of circle. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. Are there any players on like a grounded level, I guess I'd say, like whether that's teammates or older players you might have played with or met that have helped you out through your journey, or is it just mainly your mum that's helped you?
Um, I sort of like oh, that's a hard one.
Mm.
Just there's a lot of them like all obviously like older players within like NBL one and stuff like Chris Cedar. He's just a good mentor, good guy. He's like yeah, he's pretty good in that friendship aspect. Yeah, he's a good guy. So
Mm.
him and nah, not really.
Yeah,
Just yeah, nah,
I get what you mean. Yeah.
yeah,
And now going on something that I am interested to talk about with the whole social media aspect of things, accounts like Baseline Hoops, they frequently post you on there. I see you on TikTok, stuff like that.
yeah.
Can that sort of stuff maybe get to your head sometimes, like that media attention, or do you sort of just block it out?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't really like to for me like personally like the social media and stuff's just there for like to influence like other Polynesian kids and younger kids that want to play basketball. But yeah, it's just more so I have that platform. So while I have this hype and all this stuff around me, like it's good just to sort of let other kids that are younger know that like you gotta pathway in basketball and just sort of try and do that. Not too
Yeah,
much.
that's definitely a positive way to look at it because, like, with social media, there's a lot of negatives, but when you look at the positives, like you said, inspiring other people to play basketball, that's a very good way to look at it, I think. So, yeah, good on you for
Yeah.
that. And now, obviously, you are an NBA prospect after going to NBA Global Academy. Curious, did you ever see yourself like getting to that point in your career, or like when you were younger, did you sort of see like, yeah, maybe one day I can make it there?
Not really. To be honest, when I was younger, it was all rugby. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna play for a professional rugby team and keep going. It was just like I sort of picked up basketball on the side and was just like, oh yeah, we'll just play and obviously be that defensive guy and sort of try and win games for my team.
yeah. I have to ask though, are you still playing rugby or footy? I guess I'll call it. But are you still playing that at the moment, like on the side, or is it just full basketball?
No, just full basketball this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Now talking on the mental side of things, the athlete's mind, something that we focus on. I read in an article that you said that when you were a kid, that definitely the dream was to take a pathway, but as you got older, sort of fell out of love with rugby, and yeah, you still played with the boys and the vibes there. Can you sort of explain like why you fell out of love with rugby? Was it more that you found more potential in basketball, or was there like more to that?
Um, to be honest, like with sport, I just fell in love with like how hard you have to work to get where you are to be get better. So it was like more like with rugby, I felt like it was more how I got my talent was more like given to me like genetically, and I thought basketball was more you had to think about it and just train harder. So I just drifted towards the basketball side with the sort of like effort you have to put in and all of that stuff. And
Yeah, you got to work for it. Yeah, I see what you mean. And how was your experience in the 2022 FIBA Under-16s Asian Championship?
yeah, it was great. It was obviously it was like real surreal. Like I went in there and you got 12 guys that can score the ball, and it's just it's a wake up call when you realize how quick your role can change within a team. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And how do you sort of deal with the pressure? Because like I said before, the athlete's mind, some athletes deal with this in different ways, like pressure of like winning the game or, with all these expectations that you have from different people watching you, like expected to go to the NBA. Is there any way that you deal with that sort of pressure that you have from people or like speak to anyone about it?
Uh Not necessarily. I just sort of um I think that the only expectation really that matters is mine. So it's just
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I can have a high expectation of myself and um can follow through with that, then the other expectations should be satisfied. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that the saying I always go by is never take criticism from someone that you'd never take advice from. We actually
Yeah.
had an NBL, ex-NBL player, Damien Martin, used to play for Wildcats. Not sure if you know who he is. We had him on the
Yeah.
podcast recently, and he talked quite a bit about that. Sort of opened up my eyes a little bit in that. But
Yeah.
yeah, you nailed it right there. So do you have like any hobbies on the side of basketball? Because obviously, like, you need to sort of have that balance. It can't always just be like, basketball. I know it's easier said than done. But yeah, is there anything you sort of do on the side to just take your mind off it?
I wouldn't say like just dial it down to one thing, but I just like to get around it with my cousins and
Yeah.
family and just do something or once a week or once a
Mm.
month. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Hanging out with family, friends. Yeah, that's probably the best way, I think. Now, sort of what goes through your mind in a game when you're about to like blast out and move on a defender? Is there anything you look at in particular, like a body language of the defender, or sort of do you just sort of just go with the flow?
Or I'd like to say I go with the flow, but I know as soon as I touch the ball, I look at the stance and I
Mm.
sort of think like obviously we do a lot of scout and like I think a lot about the game. And when I verse someone, I'd like to know what they can do. So
Mm.
just depending on the play, I can just look at them and know if I can get by or have to use some dribble moves or just quick use some quick thinking. And if I dribble once and they bite, they're right there, then I'll kick it on and try and get it back later or just
Mm.
take them to the rim.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned as well, like you got to study the game a lot because, like you said, if there's a defender and they're left-handed or right-handed, that can change like what type of move you're going to take. So that's the
Yeah.
thing with basketball. Like you, not only do you have to be a good player, but you actually have to like study the game and put in that work. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how far do you actually want to go with basketball? Is there an end goal you have in mind? Whether that's NBA, NBL, whatever. But yeah, or do you just sort of focus on little goals?
Yeah, obviously for I think every aspiring basketball player is to make the NBA, and that would be a future goal of me for me. But at the moment, it's just little steps, like just
Yeah.
playing this NBL one season, see now I'll go home, and next year or this year, if I can sort of like, train on with an NBL team, then yeah, that'd be it. To be honest.
Yeah, I think it's important to focus on smaller goals because I'll go back to an example. Kevin Durant in the NBA, I heard him say that it sort of just happened for him. Like he'd focus on small goals, like the high school team, making the state team, and then eventually he's in the NBA. So if you overwhelm yourself with these big goals like NBA, then you sort of lose sight of the smaller goals that you actually got to achieve to get to the NBA. So that's good that you focus on that. Have you had any like bad injuries with basketball or footy in the past or recently?
Not really. I split my knee open when I was playing rugby once. Like someone's metal stud hit it, and then
Jeez.
the basketball. I tried to play basketball that next week, and yeah, it sort of messed that up, but not really. Not too bad.
Nothing too crazy. Yeah. Now, obviously, you mentioned before social media tried to inspire some other young ballers, but is there any like advice you would give to them trying to make a high level? It doesn't even have to be basketball, just sport. Like any advice that you would have to say to them?
Yeah, I think just finding the purpose into why you play or why you do something, and just sort of going by that. Like if you fall out of love with the game, it's not on anyone else to sort of tell you that you have to keep playing it. Like just find something you like doing or you love doing, and just keep at it, and slowly day by day chip away and get better at it, and you keep loving the thing you do.
So take the smallest steps. Yeah, that's a good one. Now, this next question. So we've asked all of our basketballers that have come on this same question, had a few different answers, but in your opinion, who is the greatest of all time in the NBA?
Yeah, LeBron James, I reckon. I don't know, just with in recent times of what he's doing and stuff, but I reckon he's surpassed Michael. But yeah,
I get why people say that, obviously. But man, everyone says LeBron James. I always stick by MJ. Got a poster of him right there. No one has said MJ yet, so I'm waiting for that. But yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, he's what 38 and still putting up like 40-point games, 30-point games. It's crazy. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe when he retires, we'll see that debate come to an end. But yeah, I don't know. Now, just before we go, a question we ask all of our athletes. This is a bit of an interesting question. We get many different answers, but if you could be any athlete in the world, who would it be and why? It doesn't have to be basketball, and it can also be past or present athletes.
I don't really think about this stuff, to be honest.
No, I understand. It is a bit of a tricky one. Like some people say, like, because there's many things that factor into it. Like some people say the NFL players or the NBA players or the soccer players for high money and all that stuff. But I mean, I mean, for me, mine would probably be like, I'd have to say probably like a boxer, because I'm into my boxing, like a Ryan Garcia or something like that for present. But yeah, is there anyone that you sort of have in mind or not really?
Oh, yeah, not really. I saw the question on the thing when you messaged me, and I was trying to think, but I don't really know. Like, yeah, there's a lot of great athletes out there.
Any NBA players, maybe like a Ja Morant, someone like Hell Athletic or something like that coming through. Josh Giddey, you mentioned Josh Giddey before.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, Ja Morant's cool. If I'd bounce like him, that would be great. But yeah,
no, that's what you mean. Yeah, his bounce is crazy, but yeah, that about wraps it up. All the questions. A bit of a short one today, but yeah, thank you for coming on, Roman. We really appreciate it. It's always good to see the young ballers on here. So we wish you the best for the rest of your career. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out for you. So yeah, keep up the hard work, man, and yeah, we appreciate it. So yeah. Just before we go, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching, this will be on Spotify, Apple Music. Go and follow the TikTok, the Instagram, and also be on YouTube on our main platform. We appreciate the support. Go and follow Roman as well. I'll link his Instagram below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.